And Mama, you're
जय गुरुजी संगत जी। आज की हमारी चिल्ड्रंस रिकॉर्डिंग की श्रृंखला में we are going to have another amazing episode with another blessed child of Guruji Maharaj. And I will request Achal Paul uncle to please take the recording forward, the session forward. Achal Paul uncle, over to you.
Jai Guruji. What an amazing experience, I would say it is when you see young kids, following the footsteps of existing Sangat. Why I say that? Because Guru Maharaj himself used to say, not once, but many times over, that Laina Lakangiya. And how would that happen? When generation change and they start following and follow for good. And that's something very good for the mankind, I would say. Having said that, I welcome Amber Gill Bitia on this platform. And without much ado, just by saying that you are in Canada and you are pursuing your studies and following Guru Maharaj. How did it all started, Amber? If we could start with this basic thing, and then as we go along, whatever comes to my mind, I will step in and then ask you how it all started. When did you start realizing that I should follow this, and your prayers are being answered? That's very important. Only then will anybody follow. Otherwise, you keep wondering whether you are at the right place or not, or you're going down, in front of whom? Yes, please.
Alato Jagarji, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaji Sada Sahai, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. I first would like to say that just answering sort of your question was, where did it all start for me? That was sort of a tricky place. I wouldn't say I had one like moment where I was like, oh my God. And that's where it all kind of took off. I would say it was a sequence of events and a lot of experiences, a lot of lessons, and a lot of eye-opening experiences that really shaped where I am today. I think one of the most eye-opening and the most powerful moments for me was when back in 2021, around that time when my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. We had heard about Guruji, but I wasn't very aware of who Guruji was, and I hadn't really like understood the power of Guruji at that time, until my mom had started praying to him, and I had attended some satsangs here and there. I think one of my very first satsangs was it was a very like surreal experience in a way. I think I really felt at peace with myself, and just learning that like blocking off everything was very important, and just focusing all of your sort of mind and energy to Guruji was the whole point of the satsang. And then I think that's where it kind of like started a little bit. And then slowly attending more satsangs, I'm gonna be honest, I had my doubts, I had questions, I was a little bit reserved with what I would I guess say and believe. I would not be 100% until I kind of had seen some sort of like thing. And I guess the one miracle was that even recently when my mom had like sort of passed that very hard time in her life, when things had started to get a little bit better and things are starting to get normal, I had believed that it was like the act of a higher power. So I guess from there, that's another thing that really kind of triggered my belief. And then going forward, moving on, I really learned that believing in Guruji was just to just believe and not like ask for things. So I at times, of course, at times of like despair and like times that I really, really need something, I do ask Guruji and ask him to guide me and ask him for what is right. And then I do notice that I really see some change or I find an answer somehow. And my mom has seen it in many ways. When she opens like up her phone, she'll get answers to questions she's asked. And I think similar with me, but I often kind of just think of it as a coincidence. I'm not very like, I'm a little bit more logical when it comes to these things. I don't really like, that's not my first instinct to say, oh, it's Gurji. I kind of think about it and then I'm like, but that isn't possible. Okay, maybe it's just a coincidence, or maybe it's just happening because I was thinking of it and that's why. But then slowly things like a lot of like, which I'll get into, like my, I guess, satsangs later on. From there, I sort of started to realize that it's not just a coincidence. That it can't be. There can't be so many coincidences. It's definitely Guruji. So, and then I guess even
Can I
right now,
can I just
yeah,
can I just step in and just little bit? Guruji used to say, "Do you understand Punjabi?"
yeah, I do.
He always used to speak in Punjabi, but I'll translate it in English just in case you don't understand it.
Okay.
He used to
Yep.
say, "मेरे दरबार विच कोई coincidence नहीं होता." These are
Mhm.
his words, right?
Yeah.
So all I wanted to say, when these things happen or start happening, it would be going on. And then you don't have to worry that, oh, it can't happen. It can't be Guruji. No, it is Guruji. It is because he's the one who's making things happen, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that is something you have to keep back of your mind. And don't, because see, if suppose you are amongst your friends, they would ever believe that. So just
Mhm.
you don't have to necessarily share with your friends because they might do mockery, or so they would be just talking something, which because they don't follow Guruji, they don't understand. And
Yeah.
when you are in Guruji's darbar, put all your logic, all your understanding and other things related to the subject matter outside, because in his darbar, no logic works. Yeah, please go ahead. I thought I
I,
must tell you this so that henceforth you stop even thinking about this. That's very important. Yeah,
yeah. So going back to that point, I did, of course, that's where I started. That's where everything kind of, when things started to not make sense to me, then I just left all logic and all science, I guess, out of the picture. And I realized that it's just about endless possibility and just about believing in Guruji and his realm, I guess. Everything happens for a reason, and he creates that. And every lived experience is something he will shape. So I realized that, and then I guess that's where my faith really just began to, you know, like lift off, I guess. And I think that was the most important thing for me to learn, that having like just having that kind of mind, having that logical thinking isn't the way that religion works or how beliefs work. So that's kind of when I got into Guruji and
got it.
just
So
believing in him.
share some. Yeah, got it. So I'm going to share some satsangs where, because this is where it all began, right? Now
Yeah.
share some satsangs which you think would further or help you further amplify your confidence, your faith in Guruji Maharaj. So,
Yes. So I have to
did you
say
ever
one.
any? Did you ever get any dream about him, for example? That's one. Or you were thinking about thing, you prayed, in front of his Swarup, and the prayer got answered. So tell us, share some of those nuggets, which is called satsang on this
So
platform. But
I've
yeah,
had multiple sort of
please,
satsangs that I
yeah.
can share. I think one of my biggest satsangs was when I had began to apply to universities from high school, and I was applying to all of my favorite universities. And at that moment, I kind of applied to universities that I wasn't like, I didn't know exactly which one I wanted to go to. But after that sort of time period, once the acceptances started to roll out and I received mine, I got accepted to every university I applied to, GURUJI, with some even with very good scholarships, with very like I guess like I wouldn't even be able to deny those sort of things that they were offering. And it was really, really nice until I realized the university that I actually wasn't sure if I wanted to go to, but that sort of solidified it for me when I didn't get accepted into it at first. Um, I was very upset. It was the university I currently go to, and I realized that, you know, actually I did want to go to the university, and now that I don't have the acceptance letter, I don't know what to do. But that kind of amplified my want to go to that university. And then I looked into the details as to why I didn't get in. And with further inspection, I realized that I didn't get in because apparently I didn't have the grades. But looking into it, I kind of looked back at my grades and my report cards and I calculated that I would have gotten in. My grades were actually what the university was expecting. So I thought they had made an error at first. So what I did is I told my mom about this, and she had she told me to go and sit in Guruji's darbar and write a letter stating that I think that they made a mistake and they could if and ask if they could reconsider my uh, application. So I immediately came into Guruji's room, and at the time I wasn't very um, I didn't really like have full faith at that moment in Guruji. Um, because I think humans are very like, see it or believe it kind of people. Like that's just who we are by nature. So I came and sat in Guruji's darbar, and I immediately I kind of just stood there and I prayed, and then I sat down, and then I started typing the letter. Then my mom had come and like obviously like overlooked it and made sure it was okay. And we sent the letter through. Soon after a few emails back and forth, I got an acceptance into the university, and they had said that I think they had overlooked my reports or something. And I was so like I couldn't believe it. I just everything was just like it was almost like as if Guruji had just done that for me, and because he knew I really wanted it, and because I like put my full faith. I didn't ask, I just believed, and that's when I received, basically.
Wonderful,
um
wonderful, wonderful. I'm
yeah,
so
so
happy
that
for
was
you.
one of my biggest satsangs, I would say,
Yeah,
because I'm now at a
wonderful.
university I love, and I'm so grateful for it.
See, um, when you start following Guruji,
Mm.
when you like come, because I would imagine that was a time when you must have surrendered fully. But before that, a lot of ifs and buts must be coming to your mind, right?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
should I not? No, well, what can he do? At the end of the day, we just make prayer, picking up prayers, offering up prayers, and will it really get answered or whatever? So, but once they get answered, then you get into that mold, because then
Mm.
because see,
True.
Guruji used to say initially, hale teri naal mera connection nahi hoya. Why? Because he also waits for the right time, because you want to come quick and you want quick results. Like, okay, here I offer my prayer. Oh no, it's already past 24 hours, nothing is happening. What is this, Guruji? So that doesn't happen that way, Amber.
Mm.
You have to understand. I'm so glad that it happened for you, and it
Thank
happened by not getting too much of time space in between, but eventually it happened. So like this, now going forward, how you further maintained your faith? Did you make your, I would say, regular thing that, okay, before going to office, college, sorry, not office, college, I would come, Matha Teko, and then I'll move on, and things like this. And then carry one small Swarup in my purse, and because he's there to safeguard me in every way, be it class, be it en route, be it whatever. Like we always carry his. So tell us some more about it. Like, because
So,
now what is happening? Faith is established, but you have to keep reinvesting in that faith to get
mhm.
matured. Yeah, please.
So I think for me, when I got accepted into university, I was going to live on dorm first year, on residence. So in my dorm room, the first thing that I did was put a mini darbar of Guruji in my dorm room, just as a reminder to always sort of have faith, and no matter what, Guruji is with me on every journey of my life. So for me, that was the most, I guess that was the thing that really helped me get through university, being the most difficult year, first year. I always had Guruji to come back to after a long day of classes and lectures and labs. I would come back and just, as much as I could, as much as I could remember, to just thank Guruji and just trust in him and believe that everything was going the way that it should for me, basically. And I think just having Guruji Swarup is a very important reminder, because I also understood that having him very near to me was important. I think I'm a very like visual person, so making sure that I maintain that was important as well. Um, and just having him like his photo, or like just being able to feel his presence with that photo and like mini bar, and having that safe space in my own um, residence was so important. So that's kind of how I kept that faith going, I guess. And then obviously at that point, a lot of things had happened where my faith was just, it was just getting more deeper and deeper because of the things that had happened and just me blindly trusting Guruji.
Good. Here, since you are growing and getting into this, I want to tell you and share my own experience.
Yeah.
If, God forbid, your Swarup in your purse slips out, or it
Mm.
just, you can't find it, don't worry. It is not any signal of saying that he's upset with you. Once we were traveling, we used to first take agya from him before traveling out anywhere. And just see, we said, Guruji, our friends are going to Mata Vaishno Devi, so can we go? हाँ चले जा, पर की करेगा? सारे दर्शन तो ऐसे ही हैं. मैं कहते जी friends जा रहे हैं. कहाँ जाके कुम्भिया. Kumbhiya means just, it is not, he said, हाँ darshan kara, because all the blessings are already there with you.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, Guruji himself used to give his Swarup, this small, with a clip, like a school badge, with a clip on
Oh,
top. So we used to
yeah.
always carry, irrespective wherever we go, office, anywhere. So we would, not that everybody should get to see it, we would put it inside, and I don't know where it slipped.
Mm.
And it slipped when we were on the horseback. And I just touched, because it was always here, close to my chest. So I just touched, it was not there. I got down, I stopped the car, I asked him to stop the horse. I said, listen, I want to see where it is. I couldn't find it. And a lot of questions started coming to my mind. Oh, I've done some mistake. Oh my God, I got it. This is not good. Yeah. Means all my focus was on that Swarup and not where I was with my friends and family. But that was a time when I just said to myself, don't worry, Guruji is there with you. And when we go back to Darbar, I'm going to ask this question to him. And I
Mm.
asked when we came back. कहते घूमे आया मैं कहा हाँ जी मैं कहा गुरु जी एक चीज कहनी है कहते हाँ बोल मैं कहा जी थोड़ा स्वरूप तीजे दिन निकल गया कहते फिर की होया चलिया कुछ नहीं होंदा मैं तेरे नाल हां so
Mm.
this is very important to share that because it happens at the end of the world we are like any other human being and things do slip out so don't worry whether
Mhm.
it is this or um, Another incident related to Swarup I would like to share. One day there was thunderstorm, and our front door, the balcony door, was open. And this was COVID time. We had shifted everything to one room, where we made the bar. That was the place where we used to sleep on the floor in the bar, because most of the time we would be doing prayer. So we said we'll just make one room and do it. And thunderstorm and lightning and whatnot came, and Guruji's huge swarup, I have a very huge swarup given by him only, that just fell. That fell. And there was total silence at home. Total silence. What has this happened in, and COVID times, when you see on your left, your right, things are going back to worst. And we, of course, with his blessings, we are going strong. I just didn't know what. Then I spoke to one of my, what you call, Guru Bhen, and I said, look, this has happened. Okay, why? When shops open, just get the glass done, redone. But nothing will happen. And we maintained that. So it was very important to share this. So because in life, a lot of things happen. God forbid, if ever you encounter this, you would know that this is no signal that he's upset with you or he's not with you anymore, or
Yeah.
things of something bad is going to happen. Nothing of that sort. You even become more strong. Right? Please tell us more about it.
So one of my other kind of satsangs, I guess, was when I had lost my wallet. In there, I had my ID, had quite a bit of money, cash, and my SIM card. So these things were very important, of course. And I don't know, I'm usually very cautious with where I keep my stuff. So at that time, I didn't like panic immediately. One, because I knew I had Guruji, and I'm sure he would have made made that not something that I would have lost, kind of. He would have made sure like it was somewhere in my house, or it would have gotten back to me safely. Um, then another thing is I thought it would be at home somewhere. So I was leaving to go to lecture that day, and I realized that I lost my wallet. I didn't panic as much. I just sort of prayed to Guruji and hoped that I would get it back. Then I left, came back from lecture, and then I got a call from my mom, and I said, and answered, and she said that the police called her earlier to tell her that my a wallet under my name had been found. And so at first my mom was obviously worried. She was like, why are the police calling me? This is very scary. So she answered it. And when she found out it was just because my wallet was found, then of course we were both relieved. And I realized like it was all Guruji Maharaj. Like I I don't know how I would have found that wallet if it weren't for him. So that was just one amazing, amazing satsang. And I told my mom, I prayed to Guruji before leaving the house. And look, within such a short time, I already got the news back. So
I'm
that
so,
was,
I'm so glad you have your mom like a rock with you guys.
yeah,
She's there to help you, guide you, be with you. God bless her.
she is very good.
Uh,
She's the one who just tells me to love Guruji unconditionally. Anytime somebody says anything about Guruji, she just ignores it and says, "Don't say anything about my Guruji," and just continues her faith. And that's so, she's
yeah,
really an inspiration for.
very right. Very right. Uh, Now that the studies and admission and ongoing studies you have shared, anything else where you think perhaps you could not manage, but Guruji intervention was there and things went ahead? Any, it could be any small thing, but think share.
Mm, I think that when there's so many, I can really
I know, I
I
know, I
guess
know, I know.
I can't really pinpoint. Like obviously, to some these things might be very big, to some they might be very small. But
No problem.
anything that I
Go ahead.
received from
Your heart.
Guruji was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was very important. And I took every little thing that Guruji gave me with serious like appreciation. So one thing that I really, I guess, I'm just gonna think about something. Um, This actually happened again with another wallet. My friend had lost hers, and so she didn't believe in Guruji at the time, but I was just consistently saying Jai Guruji, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. And soon after, maybe like a couple hours later, we found her wallet out of nowhere, completely impossible if you would think about it, that we had found her wallet in such an open area. It was the whole campus, like I think the way that it fell out of her pocket, somebody would have picked it up. But Guruji made sure to keep it safe from the moment we realized we lost it. And he delivered it right back to us. That was one very wonderful thing that Guruji did. And let me see, there's so many. So another thing Guruji had done when we had first kind of set up our darbar, Guruji showed us signs of Shivji. Like we had I think the lights were off one day in this room, and before Guruji was in here, we had the Shiv Murti. And from there, we sort of lit a candle just a little bit aside from the Shivji Murti. And with nothing like behind or in front of the candle, there was like a huge like shadow of Shivji in
Mm.
our room. And we didn't understand how it was being made. Like it wasn't the actual Shivji Murti, but it was an incredible sort of like image. And that kind of just reminded us that Guruji and Shivji are with us no matter what. Or is, I should say, because they're one. But yeah, from there, I also realized that my siblings and I were just learning how to sort of just understand that, everyone has their different levels of faith. Whenever we go to satsangs and such, we learn from so many different people how they pray to Guruji and how, I guess, how they like, how their beliefs were made in a way, to just continue their faith and such. So,
Amber, have you been able to convince your friends to go,
mm,
to accompany you and go to Guruji, even if they don't have any faith, they don't follow? Share some of that.
I think so. One of my very good friends, um, when they come over to our house, at first, I think their family, like their distant family, believes in Guruji as well. So they kind of had some understanding of who Guruji was, and they understood that, like, of course, he's God, but they weren't very like they didn't believe in Guruji themselves. So anytime they'd come to my house, you would see like the photos, the swarups of Guruji all across, and he wasn't very like, I guess, there yet in a way. So slowly over time, he joined us for satsangs at our home, and I told him about my experiences with Guruji and how I believe in Guruji because of my own reasons. And slowly he started to understand, and now every time I see them, they will just say, "Oh, Jai Guruji" for anything, and just like I see that change, and I see that
That's
Guruji.
how it all starts.
Yeah.
Can
And
I recommend something which I am no one to say so, but it's coming to my
yeah.
mind. Maybe Guruji is putting in that in mind.
Mhm.
You know, Guruji always was very happy, excited about 2 days.
Two
One was
days?
2 days. One was his
Mhm.
birthday, 7th July, and second was Baisakhi.
Mm.
He used to call select
Wow.
Sangat and ask them, बड़े मंदिर लेके आओ, गड्डियां भर के लेके आओ, get car load of, what do you call your friends and whom you want to get blessed. Because on his birthday and Mahashivratri, if you visit Mandir, Guruji's Mandir, that's the day when, if I may use, it is not exaggeration, but it is how I would like to put it, is that the energy levels, the blessings are overflowing. So today we are, I think, on 4th. 7th is round the corner. Carry some of your friends to Mandir and take them.
Definitely,
See the
definitely.
magic. You'll make Guruji happy.
I'd
He
love to do
he
it.
was always very excited. I'm using that word excited. Guruji. He always wanted to bless more and more. And to bless on these 2 days was perhaps his
I will keep that in
main wish.
mind. His birthday is just around the corner, so definitely. And we're having a satsang at our house. I remember when I actually visited Bade Mandir, and at that time I was visiting India maybe for the second time. We had never been, so this was my first ever time at the Bade Mandir. So I was obviously very excited myself. I was very keen on understanding like where this all kind of started. So we were lining up, and of course the lines are very long there, and I wasn't used to India's heat at that time. So some might say it was a heat stroke, but I think it was Guruji's blessing because I had fainted in front of the Bade Mandir. And I don't understand how. I really, it was very like it was a very different experience for me. So I had fainted, and then when I had woken up, of course, all the Guru Sangat were so lovely and caring, and that really shows that Guruji's kind of teachings, like how they transcend across like years and years, and people understand how Guruji sort of would have how he would have done things if he were here. So everyone was so caring. They were giving me water. Some people were giving me candies to make sure I was okay. And then when I finally gotten better, uh, woken up, I guess, I had thrown up a lot, and that was in front of the mandir, and that was something I wasn't intending to do. But I think Guruji was trying to take maybe some bigger gusht, I guess, away and make sure that I was safe in the future because I and although like some might think that maybe it's not a blessing, I think it really was. And I think that's something that kind of changed my view of like how Guruji gives his blessings to you.
Right. It's coming in time and again to my mind that this birthday of his, get more and more friends of yours. If you're doing it satsang at home, fine. If you're going to Mandir, great.
Yeah.
But carry them, get them over.
Mhm.
And after that, don't push them to follow. Don't push them.
Yeah.
They themselves will say, hey, Ember, that we really enjoyed. Can we go to Mandir? Can we come home? We just want to Mata Deko. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. Trust me.
Yeah, that's true. It has happened actually with my friend.
Yeah.
So I guess I just have to get as many people to
Yeah.
sort of
Because
experience
I,
this with me. They will have their own path.
I think when he was in his physical form, he was in a tearing hurry to bless as many as he could. So this is what comes to my mind. I could be, because 4 car loads, 5 car loads. At times he used to say, "एक bus भर के लेके आ, कोई पंजाब से आ रहा है, कोई कहाँ से?" I can't tell you, but he would have that smile on his face and bless them. You don't even have to tell him that, look, I've got these many. He said, "ले आए हैं अपने बंदियानों?" मैं कहा, "हाँ जी, बस." That's it.
It's really like a community that he forms, and he's made so many wonderful connections through satsangs for me. I've met so many lovely people, so many different kinds of people that I wouldn't meet on a day-to-day basis, and just all being in one place together, receiving
Mhm.
these blessings from Guruji is so powerful. So I'm really grateful that we can hold these satsangs at our house and even go to other homes and,
Yeah,
just share like the sense of love for Guruji.
yeah.
Very nice.
Because he himself used to say, no, that ghar ghar jyot jalegi.
Yeah.
Whether it is India, anyway, any part of the world, it would happen that way. Now that I see Anuja auntie there, it's time to say Jai Guruji.
So I've
I
been,
don't
I've
want
been
to
getting
hold you
the
back from it.
entire session, and Amber, your love for Guruji is so inspiring. It's so good to see young children who are totally
Yeah,
devoted to Guruji, and they enjoy going to satsangs also and meeting the entire Guru Parivar. It's actually, I'm so happy that you shared everything because it will inspire the new generation. And Guruji is blessing the new generation's children also with so many dream darshan, with one-to-one connection. It's his way of pouring all his love on the children of Guruji. So thank you, Achal uncle, for hosting this session so
that it was
beautifully.
amazing,
Thank you,
Seva.
Amber,
Always
Shakrana.
love to.
for sharing your amazing connection with Guruji Maharaj. And like Achal uncle said, please take all your friends because Guruji
Yeah,
is sitting, waiting to bless all your friends.
Oh, definitely. I think there's so many more satsangs I could share going
Please,
forward,
please
but
continue. Please continue.
no, no, this was just kind of the beginning, I guess. I would love to come back one more time in the future, perhaps, and share more. But thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for listening so nicely and giving me such wonderful advice about bringing my friends. I will definitely carry this forward and hope to
I would like
get
to add that, like Uncle talked about the Swaroop, start feeling Guruji deep within you. He's sitting inside you. So just start
yeah.
feeling that so that you
Yeah.
don't even need a Swaroop one day.
Yeah, so true, so true. I honestly, although I carry a syrup with me, I often like it's kind of in like a closed wallet of mine. I don't really like I don't have a clear um, wallet cover, so it's just in the wallet. So I often forget that I have it, of course, but I don't need to even think about it because I have it in my heart, I think. So that's kind of I'm getting there. Without the syrup, we'll be there soon.
So we'll close the session now.
yeah.
Yes.
Shukrana Guruji Maharaj ka, Shukrana Sangat ji for listening to the beautiful satsang of Amber Gill Bitya. Shukrana.
Jaggerty.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.